Good morning, students, and welcome to another online biology classroom of St. Michael's Academy. Today I am going to discuss the last part of digestion and absorption. So let's start. First, we are starting with nutritional and digestive disorders. In food, there are various types of inorganic and organic nutrients which provide us energy for proper functioning of the body, raw materials for growth, development and tissue repair, and also provide adequate protection from diseases. However, nutrition means the physiological process of utilization of food for the above said purposes. On the other hand, malnutrition means consumption of food taking one or more essential nutrients for a long time. The most common nutritional deficiency observed in humans is protein energy malnutrition. Usually, this type of malnutrition occurs in the infants and preschool children of poor people. So we are starting with the first disease, that is PEM, or protein energy malnutrition, sometimes called protein energy undernutrition, that is PEU, is a form of malnutrition that is defined as a range of pathological conditions arising from coincident lack of dietary protein and or energy in calories in varying proportions. That means the deficiency of basically deficiency of energy or deficiency of protein. The condition has mild, moderate and severe degrees. In the first diagram, you can see the protein energy malnutrition. Two types of protein energy malnutritions are there. First one is kwashiorkor and the second one is marasmus. So first, in case of first one, marginal energy but insufficient protein intake. But in second case, insufficient protein and energy intake. So for the first one, that means for kwashiorkor, the disease that the first child gets when the new child born. And the second one for marasmus, to waste away or dying away. Now in the second diagram, I have shown the symptoms of the two diseases. For the first one, swelling of legs, that is edema or edema you can say, sparse hair, little interest in surroundings, that is moon face with little interest in surroundings, flaky appearances of skin, swollen abdomen, thin muscles but fat present. And for the second one, that is for marasmus disease, normal hair, old man or wizened appearance, thin limbs with the muscle or fat, and very underweight body. So you can distinguish the two types of PEM disease. Second disease, about that we are going to discuss, that is indigestion. Indigestion, also called dyspepsia or an upset stomach, is a general term that describes discomfort in your upper abdomen. Indigestion is not a disease, but rather some symptoms you experience, including abdominal pain and a feeling of fullness soon after you start eating. You can see in the diagram the inflammation of liver has been shown. Now the third one is constipation. Constipation occurs when bowel movements become less frequent and stools become difficult to pass. It happens most often due to changes in diet or routine or due to inadequate intake of fiber. You should call your doctor if you have severe pain, blood in your stools, or constipation that lasts longer than 3 weeks. Now you can see in the diagram constipated bowel. That is, say, stagnation of fecal mass has been shown. Fourth one is vomiting. Vomiting, forcefully expelling what's in your stomach through your mouth, is your body's way of getting rid of something harmful in the stomach. It may also be a response to irritation in the gut. Vomiting isn't a condition but rather a symptom of other conditions. Next one is jaundice. Jaundice is a condition in which the skin, whites of the eyes and mucous membranes turn yellow because of high level of bilirubin, a yellow-orange bile pigment. Jaundice has many causes, including hepatitis, gallstone, and tumors. In adults, jaundice usually doesn't need to be treated. You can see in the diagram it has been clearly shown a normal or healthy body condition. And in case of jaundice, the condition of the body, whites of eyes turn yellow, yellow skin also occurs. And actually jaundice means enlargement of liver. And the last disease is diarrhea. Diarrhea is when your bowel movements become loose or watery. The definition of diarrhea is passing loose or watery bowel movements 3 or more times in a day or more frequently than usual. Diarrhea occurs when the lining of the intestine is unable to absorb fluid or it actively secretes fluid. So you can see in the diagram, stomach has been shown and intestine also. So in case of diarrhea, what actually happens? Water reabsorbed by the body. In case of normal condition I am talking about, see the arrow portions are stool. So water reabsorbed by the body. But in case of diarrhea, no absorption or reabsorption of water occurs. Why? Because stool has too much water to reabsorb that time. That means stool maximum time, in case of diarrhea, stool absorb all the water. So no water left for the reabsorption in our body. Now the next topic that I am going to talk about, that is some clinical conditions. First one is scurvy. Scurvy is a disease resulting from a lack of vitamin C, that is ascorbic acid. Early symptoms of deficiency include weakness, feeling tired, and sore arms and legs. Without treatment, decreased red blood cells, gum disease, changes to hair, and bleeding from the skin may occur. You can see in the diagram, scurvy disease symptoms has been shown. Pale skin, loss of teeth, and this type of sunken eyes. These are the main 3 symptoms of scurvy. Number B is peptic ulcer. Peptic ulcers are open sores that develop on the inside lining of your stomach and the upper portion of your small intestine. The most common symptom of a peptic ulcer is stomach pain. Peptic ulcers include gastric ulcers that occur on the inside of the stomach. So you can see in the diagram it has been clearly shown a peptic ulcer. In case of peptic ulcer, what actually happens with liver? Ulcer happens, but in case of stomach, you can see in the index diagram, mucosa, submucosa and muscle, 3 layers has been shown. And what actually ulcer happens and what actually peptic ulcer happens, that also has been shown. And the next one is gastritis. It's a very common disease. So gastritis is an inflammation of the protective lining of the stomach. Acute gastritis involves sudden, severe inflammation. Chronic gastritis involves long-term inflammation that can last for years if it's left untreated. Erosive gastritis is a less common form of the condition. You can see in the diagram it has been shown that gastritis means basically upper abdominal pain. But it is not necessary that only these symptoms you can see in case of gastritis. Back pain also occurs, chest pain also occurs. Even sometimes we are getting confused whether it is heart paining or pain due to gastritis in case of acute gastritis. Symptoms of gastritis may include heaviness, pain, heartburn, nausea and vomiting. You can see in the index a healthy liver and a gastritis liver and stomach picture has been clearly shown. The next one is cirrhosis of liver. Cirrhosis is a late stage of scarring, that is fibrosis of the liver, caused by many forms of liver diseases and conditions such as hepatitis and chronic alcoholism. Each time your liver is injured, whether by disease, excessive alcohol consumption or another cause, it tries to repair itself. You can see in the diagram stages of liver damage or cirrhosis of liver, ultimately how it has been occurred. It has been shown healthy liver, first red color, second stage is fatty liver, yellowish color, third stage is liver fibrosis, and the fourth stage is cirrhosis of liver or damaged liver. Now the next one is colon cancer or colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is a malignant tumor arising from the inner wall of the large intestine or colon or rectum. You can see in the diagram, transverse colon has been shown. As in the ascending colon portion, there is a colon polyp. In index, it has been shown clearly. And in the descending colon portion also, there is an index actually. You can see there also a sigmoid colon portion. In a sigmoid colon portion, a colon cancer portion has been shown. Next one is starvation and fasting. What you need to understand properly is that while fasting is recommended by both ancient Ayurvedic principles and modern nutritionists, starving is approved of by neither. Starving deprives individuals of major nutrients and can cause nutritional deficiencies. Vaidt explains. Now you can see in case of starvation, exhaust of glycogen, use of stored lipids happen. Starvation activating metabolites, fuel, substitution, antioxidation, mitochondrial activation and signaling. But in case of fasting, increased BHB, BDNF, AMPK, PGC1 alpha and the other thing. And decreased level is glucose, insulin, mTOR, leptin and the other thing. So they both includes optimized neuron bioenergetics. Second one, optimized neuroplasticity and neurogenesis. And the third one is optimized neuron resilience. And the last one is obesity. Obesity is a very common term nowadays for everyone, especially for female. Obesity is a complex disease involving an excessive amount of body fat. Obesity isn't just a cosmetic concern. It is a medical problem that increases your risk of other diseases and health problems such as heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and certain cancers, Like nowadays from obesity, some very common diseases arising, that is PCOD, polycystic ovary disease, or PCOS, that is polycystic ovary syndrome. The obesity is the main cause behind this disease. You can see obesity reasons has been shown because of no activity, endocrine diseases, hereditary problem, or unhealthy food taking. Because nowadays our diet, with the diet actually we used to maintain, that is full of maximum the cheesy thing or preservative food. But for the prevention of obesity, you should maintain a doctor prescribed diet. For any doubts or queries, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. We also welcome your responses by way of your views and feedback on PPTs or videos at feedback.stmichaelsacademy@gmail.com. So thank you students and have a nice day.